Friends, one very important issue which is often raised relates to our state of physical and mental stability, or sometimes we also say stress. 3 points: stress, meditation, and enlightenment. Let us first look at the stress. Stress basically a state of imbalance in our physical, mental, emotional states. To understand this point, let us consider what is in a human being. We basically have, as a human being, we basically have a system which is comprising of 4 levels of existence. First level, physical. It's our body, which can be sensed through the senses, which means the physical body. The second state is the subtle level, which relates to our mind, intellect, and subtle senses, the senses which are behind our physical senses, or the power behind the senses to check or test and convey meaning to the brain as brain understands it. The third level is the causal level, where we have our ego, we have our subtle life force or the suksham pran, and chetana or consciousness. But there is a fourth level which is called supercausal or mahakaran, which drives the causal. Through causal drives the subtle, and through subtle drives the physical. All these 4 are integrated together by another instrument created by the divine from birth with us, and that instrument is called Kundalini instrument. Kundalini is the divine power that enters our brain when the fetus in the mother's womb, about 3 months old. And since brain is like a prism, it breaks into many parts, but 3 important parts are the parts of the autonomous nervous system known as the sympathetic and parasympathetic, and within sympathetic, left sympathetic, right sympathetic. Therefore, sympathetic, left, right, and parasympathetic are the physical aspects of integrating power, the Kundalini instrument. At the second level, it has the vibrations or radiations. Every living material, in fact, living or non-living, radiates some form of energy. But livings radiate very specific energy. And this Kundalini instrument, which comprises of the nerves and plexuses. Nerves in yogic language are known as the nadis. The 3 nadis, Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, are the same as the left sympathetic, right sympathetic, and parasympathetic nervous system. The plexuses known as chakras are the Muladhara chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, Navi chakra, Anahata chakra, our Vishuddhi chakra, Agya chakra, and Sastra. This instrument radiates some form of energy, and each nadi has certain vibrations. but chakras have the very specific vibrations. At the third level, at the causal level, the aspect of Kundalini instrument are the gods and goddesses. In the Hindu philosophy or Indian philosophy, every god is the manifestation of the divinity as a functional unit. There is a supreme being called Sadashiv, same as Allah and God in other philosophies, who later converts himself or incarnates into the form of various gods and goddesses. We have discussed this aspect somewhere else in another lecture, else we will discuss this also. But each god and goddess is a functional power behind the physical and subtle which controls the existence. For example, water is a physical element, but quality of water which can make you peaceful, which can give you life, is something which is as a vibratory level, but at third causal level, water is known as Jal Devata in Indian philosophy. Same way fire, Agni Devata, Vayu Devata, etc. The fourth level is the level of super being, the Sadashiv or God Almighty or whatever name you like to grant. We must, before we go further into this discussion, let us understand two things. The names are given by human beings. What meaning is assigned to that name is to be decided by the one who gives that name. And I am at this moment quoting Indian philosophy or the Hindu philosophy which has given these names, and there is a meaning or quality associated behind each name. These are the forces behind the life at every level. This Kundalini instrument integrates our physical, subtle, causal and supercausal and makes us an integrated living being. When a human being is physically, mentally, emotionally in a balanced state, the flow of energy, which is divine energy known as the Kundalini energy, and the life force, which is through the heartbeats or through the heart we are getting, but Sukshma Prana, which flows through all the nadis and the chakras, is in total balanced state. When somebody becomes too emotional or is frightened, that means the fear takes over, the person goes into imbalance, which can lead to stress of some kind or even the ailments of another kind. Same way, somebody is too ambitious, egoistic, and gets excited on a thought and becomes too right-sided, where his right sympathetic or Pingala Nadi gets overactivated and the person again goes into imbalance, and that can cause another type of stress. Therefore, the stress in a human being is the state of imbalance in the left sympathetic, right sympathetic and parasympathetic of a being, which are part of the Kundalini instrument controlling the life forces and the living processes in a human being. To correct stress, we first need to understand what type of stress and then take a methodology or use a proper technique to clear that imbalance and achieve balance. Question may arise, why this imbalances? If you look at it, our nervous system had two levels of activities which are very popularly known as the conscious activities and unconscious or subconscious activities. Our conscious activities are controlled by our central nervous system, but our subconscious and unconscious activities are controlled by our autonomous nervous system or Kundalini instrument, Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, which are same as left sympathetic, right sympathetic, and parasympathetic. Medical science also says if we want a state of happiness, healthy being, our parasympathetic should be in a very balanced state, which means neither too left nor too right, but in the center. Yoga also says the same thing in a different way, that our Ida should be balanced, our Pingala should be balanced, and our Sushumna should be having a balanced state where neither too much of left nor too much of right, but central state. This is the first aspect of stress. Stress is caused by physical, mental, emotional, or maybe the other activities. I'm not going into those other ones at this stage, maybe at some other time, which cause imbalance on our left or our right. To remove stress, we need to correct imbalance of left or imbalance of right and come to a state of balance. Now, where does the meditation come in it? That is the issue which we are talking about now. Meditation means a state of activity. First, those who do not know much about yoga, there are various forms of yoga, and yoga mostly is known by us as asanas or pranayams. That yoga is known as Ashtanga yoga and has 8 steps: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Meditation is the 7th stage, the Dhyan state, which when performed properly leads to the 8th stage called Samadhi. The role of meditation is to give us that capability that we understand the imbalances in our left and right, and by meditating at our nadis and chakras to bring balance, which means to come to a stage of Sushumna or parasympathetic, we do meditation. Meditation, there are various forms. Every religion suggests some form or the other of meditation. But most critical part to understand is the goal of meditation is to remove imbalance, to bring balance in the physical life, in the mental life and emotional life. But this is only worldly part. There is a part beyond that, which is the spiritual part, which is the 4th body, which we are talking about, supercausal, where the God Almighty is supposed to be there. That stage, the purpose of meditation is to reach a stage of union of the complete being with the Supreme Being, which in yogic language is called union of Atma with Paramatma. Atma is the force driving our existence, is the force which gives us identity. We are known A, B, C, D because we have an Atma which works, right? But this Atma gets isolated due to certain activities or due to certain actions we perform. The very first one can be when we are removed from the mother's womb and our ego gets activated in the physical world. Therefore, our stress could be caused by various activities which lead to imbalance in left and right, and the method of bringing balance is meditation. Now, question comes, what should we do as meditation? There are various ways. Like I said, you can sit Vipassana, which is taught in Buddhism, a very popular method of meditation. You can do the namaz, which is taught in Islam, is again the same, praying to the God Almighty and trying to achieve union, and many others like concentrate on a word, concentrate on a point, concentrate on X, Y, Z. But these are all limited meditations. The meditation which is absolutely simple and removes all your problems is known as Sahaj. Sahaj means simple and also mean born with you. Sah means with you. Jai means Janma. Sahaj. And this is when associated with the word yoga, union of Atma with Paramatma, the technique is known as Sahaj Yoga technique, where Kundalini, which is residing in the sacrum bone in the base of your spinal cord, is activated, and on activating it passes through the nadis and the chakras, and in the process corrects all your imbalances. And when it reaches the fontanel bone, the sahasrara, all your problems are removed, all stress is removed. You get enlightened and you reach a very high stage of enlightenment or awareness. Therefore, if we look at this thread of stress removal, meditation as a technique, and enlightenment as a stage which you achieve after self-realization. Therefore, if we understand the essence of meditation, which is union of Atma with Paramatma, not trying to get involved into the physical or subtle activities like trying to acquire the power over X, power over Y, or learn to control what is called siddhis. You become Mahima, Garima, Lagima, Ishwat, Vashist, etc., etc. All these are powers. Sure, these are powers which can be done. In fact, even the PLRTM, going into your past and looking into your past lives and future lives and whatnot, these are all powers you can acquire, but that is not enlightenment. Powers can be acquired through various ways, various means, but please understand the law of cause and action works everywhere. When you want to take some powers, right, you have to pay the price. When you want to use those powers, you have to pay the price. But meditation is a path which leads to a state of equanimity, enlightenment, the state in which you are one with the God. You neither have the physical desire and problem, nor you have mental desire and problem, nor you have emotional desire and problem. You are above all that. You are in a state where you are one with God Almighty, which is known as Sat Chit Anand, or the state of total bliss. There will be no stress. All your ailments will get removed. Of course, it takes time. Please understand. It does not mean that you start now and after 2 seconds everything happens. Maybe it can happen in 1 second also, in fraction of a second also, but it depends on your life's earnings, how you have lived your spiritual life. It's like a bank, if you do not deposit anything in the bank, what do you withdraw from there? If you're already living in loan, you only have to pay and there's nothing to take. But if you have earned your spiritual life, if you have your spiritual earning deposited in the God's account, God recognizes you as a spiritual being. Union alone with Him or with that supreme power gives you a state of total bliss, where no ailment, no physical tension, no problems of the world will ever trouble you. And if you are troubled, you go back to meditation and achieve the state of enlightenment again. Therefore, you have an instrument by which you can overcome all the problems and become the master of your destiny. You become your own master. You don't have to look to anybody else to teach you how to remove your problems, how to do problems. You can solve all, you can know everything. You'll be surprised after you achieve this state of Kundalini awakening, your hands will speak. Means what is known in Islam that on the day of Qiyamah, your hands will speak. That happens now with you. After meditation, your fingers, your hands start telling you what is wrong with you. Every finger is connected to a chakra. Muladhar, Swadhisthana, Nabhi, Anhat, Vishuddhi, Agya, and Sestra. These are the 7 main chakras. There are 1,000 chakras, don't worry about that. We are talking about the 7 main chakras. They are on your left hand, they are on your right hand, they are on your body, they are on your legs, they are on your feet. And when your Kundalini is awakened, you start getting tingling in these fingers, in these hands, which tell you what is affecting. For example, suppose eyes are affected. Eyes are connected to Agya Chakra. Right? So this finger will have a burning sensation. And at that time, if you hold this finger, rub it this finger, and take the mantra of Jesus Christ, you will find your problem starts getting removed. This philosophy does not believe in different religions. It believes in a universal religion, pure universal religion. Right? Pure universal religion, which is the essence of all. You have Allah here, you have Sadashiv here, you have God here. You